Welcome to Aquatic Wetline. Aquatic Wetline is an aquarium and tropical fish themed live stream video podcast hosted by Aqua Alex Cardinale. A tropical fish keeper since the young age of 12, Alex has kept everything from monster predatory fish, Oscar cichlids, red-tail catfish, arowanas, bikers, and even stingrays, to community fish, angelfish, discus, tetras, loaches, to saltwater fish. Aqua Alex loves the aquarium hobby and loves sharing his passion and experience with fellow fish hobbyists. Fish keepers, be sure to enjoy this episode. Share this episode on social media. Now let Aqua Alex chat fish.
Hello, tropical fish keepers! Welcome to Aquatic Wetline. I'm your host, South American fish keeper, Aqua Alex Cardinale. How are you guys and gals doing today? I hope you and your tropical fish are doing well. I have a fun episode of Aquatic Wetline planned for you tonight. Tonight, I'm going to talk about oddball freshwater fish species. I'm going to break down what the term oddball means for freshwater fish, and then I'm going to talk about my 10 favorite oddball species. Species that will be discussed include silver arowana, lungfish, Datnoid, gars, fire eel, and so much more. You guys know that I am a huge fan of predatory, large-growing monster fish. Generally speaking, a lot of oddball fish fall into the category of monsters and predators. We got oddball fish like bikers and fire eels that get to a massive size. Then you got silver arowana and lungfish that get to a massive size. But not every oddball fish gets huge. There are some small oddball fish out there that are really, really cool, like the elephant nose from Africa. That is a really cool oddball fish. So this is going to be a really fun episode here on Aquatic Wetline. I figured it'd be really cool to do an episode talking about oddball fish. So, to everyone watching this video, what are your favorite oddball fish? Let me know in the comments. Whether you're watching me live or you're catching the replay of today's video, let me know in the comments what your favorite oddball fish are. Also, let me know what kind of oddball fish you are currently keeping. Now, for me, currently at the exact moment, I only have a couple oddball fish. I've got my Senegal biker, who could be considered an oddball in my 125 gallon, and I've got a couple of iridescent sharks that could be considered oddballs. Really soon, I plan on getting a silver arowana and a couple of other oddball fish like Datnoids, etc. So I look forward to that. All right, let's go ahead and get this show started. And we're going to answer the burning question. What exactly is an oddball fish? Well, I had to do a little bit of research for this one. Before I give you the research info that I found online, I'm going to give you my definition of an oddball fish. An oddball fish is any fish species that does not belong to a group of fish. So in the freshwater hobby, we have cichlids, we have catfish, we have tetras, we have barbs. So anything outside of those groups, in my opinion, is an oddball fish. So, for example, knife fish are oddballs, arowanas are oddballs. Polypterus are oddballs. Stingrays are oddballs. Freshwater eels are oddballs because they don't belong to the major freshwater fish groups. Again, the major freshwater fish groups are catfish, cichlids and perch, and tetras and barbs. Things like that are major freshwater fish groups. Anything that is not in those groups to me is considered a oddball. And there are a couple of oddball catfish species out there as well. There's a couple of oddball cherisons out there as well. But that's for a whole nother show. I'm sure we're going to do a part 2 on oddball fish. Now, here's a more precise answer about oddball fish. Oddball is the term used to describe an aquarium fish that may look or behave unusually and is not suitable for the average community aquarium. Oddballs are those fishes that don't fall into the main aquarium fish groups like the cichlids or catfish, like I said earlier. Oddballs may be a predatory fish or a predator that is small. Oddballs grow large or have special needs. Some oddballs may even need to be kept as a single specimen in a tank on their own. Oddballs are popular, however, because of their looks, shape, and color. Popular oddballs include polypterus, pufferfish, knifefish, stingrays, tigerfish, piranha, and eels. All of the above eat meaty foods and appeal to those fish keepers who like fish that can bite. Oddballs are treated more like pets than a shoal of neon tetras would be, and being long lived, they often become part of the family. So there is your definition of an oddball fish. So I'm ready to begin the countdown. Are you ready to learn about my top 10 favorite oddball fish? Great, because I'm ready to talk about my top 10 favorite oddball fish. And this is in no particular order. I love all these fish equally. So starting us off, we have a shark, which is actually a catfish. There is no true freshwater shark available in the aquarium hobby. So the first oddball kicking us off is the iridescent shark, a beautiful catfish that comes to us from Asia. Now, the iridescent shark grows massive. The iridescent shark can get about 3 feet in length, and it needs a large aquarium. These guys are tank busters. When they get scared and intimidated, they splash and dart around the aquarium. And when they're large enough, they pack several pounds. So they could easily break a 55-gallon or a 75-gallon or even a 90-gallon. So if you're thinking about keeping iridescent sharks, the first thing you need to know is that they need lots of swimming space and they get massive. They can get 3 feet in length. And they're a schooling catfish. You need to have at least 2 or 3 iridescent sharks together. Otherwise, they're going to stress out and not live a happy life. But if you've got a massive aquarium or a pond, these fish are really fun to keep. They look just like a shark, and they love to eat just like a shark. They love eating pellets, market shrimp, bloodworms, krill, tilapia, and even earthworms. They grow relatively quickly, just like a pacu. So keep that in mind as well. These guys can grow really fast. You'll be shocked when you buy a 2-inch iridescent shark, and within a month, it's already 5 inches. Now, there are a couple of types of iridescent sharks out there. There's the standard regular iridescent shark, and then there's the albino iridescent shark that frequents the aquarium hobby. And unfortunately, there is the short-bodied iridescent shark, and I'm not a big fan of short-bodied fish. Iridescent sharks are definitely a cool catfish, and they're certainly an oddball type catfish. And they're one of the only catfish that are very active in a home aquarium because most catfish will hide all the time. All right. The next oddball fish we're going to talk about is a really cool fish. It's a fish that breathes oxygen and actually has lungs. They come from Africa, Australia, and South America. Of course, I'm talking about the lungfish. Now, I personally have never had the opportunity to keep lungfish yet, but lungfish are an absolute great oddball fish because they definitely have the oddball characteristics. Legs, their fins look like legs. They get massive, and they definitely have personality. Uh, there are a couple of types of lungfish. You've got the African lungfish, which has spotted lungfish and marbled lungfish. You've got the very rare Australian lungfish, which is pretty pricey. And you've got the South American lungfish, from which people say is the least aggressive. Now, I personally have yet to keep lungfish, although I really want to keep lungfish. So if I ever see one, if I ever come across one, I definitely will keep them because they are an interesting fish. However, you can't really trust them with tank mates because they can snap on the blink of an eye. My dad had a lungfish that annihilated a iridescent shark. So it just depends on the individual fish. But lungfish get really large. I believe they get over 2 foot easily, but they're a pretty cool oddball fish. Not one you see every day. And they come to the top, take in air, and breathe air. So pretty cool. I think, in my opinion, lungfish are a lot better than oxalotls. I would keep a lungfish first before I would keep an oxalotl. Pretty cool oddball fish, and I've seen plenty of videos on YouTube. They are very, very pretty unique fish. My friend Kelly Love is in the house. Kelly says, great show and amazing information. Oddball fish. I didn't know we had oddball fish as a title. That's true. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Hope all is well with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. So the lungfish is a really cool fish, as I was saying. It actually breathes air, which is awesome. All right. The next oddball fish species we're going to talk about is a type of knife fish that comes from South America. And for those of you that don't know, the electric eel is actually not an eel. It's part of the knifefish family, the South American knifefish family. And to me, South America has some beautiful knifefish. So right now, we're going to talk about one of my favorite South American knives, and perhaps the most common that comes from South America, and that is the black ghost knifefish. These guys really do resemble a ghost. They are really cool. Now, these are large growing knife fish. The black ghost knife can reach about 18 inches in captivity, but they are a little bit slow growing. It takes them a little while to get to 18 inches. So they're great for a 75-gallon, a 90-gallon, 125-gallon, and up. And they can live with angelfish and medium to large tetras like silver dollars and Congo tetras, but I would never put them with neon tetras or smaller fish because they will eat smaller fish. And they're nocturnal, so you probably won't see them out in daylight. They'll be out at night. They love to eat bloodworms and earthworms and shrimp and tilapia. And if you put a PVC pipe in your aquarium, I guarantee you will see your black ghost knife hiding in that PVC pipe, which is really cool, especially a see-through PVC pipe. You'll see the black ghost knife with its cool swimming motions and loving its hiding spot. These guys are relatively cheap. You can find 2.5 to 4 inch black ghost knife for about 20 bucks. But because they take forever to grow, the larger the black ghost knife, the price increases. I have seen black ghost knives upwards of a foot going for about $150, but it's totally worth it at that size because it's probably taken that fish keeper a while to grow that knife fish to over a foot. But black ghost knives are certainly an amazing fish. And they're one of my favorite South American knife fish. All right, so the next oddball fish we're going to talk about is another knife fish, but this one comes to us from Asia. It is known as the featherback knife fish or the clown knife. I'm actually going to talk about both types of clown knives. I'm going to talk about the royal clown knife first, and then we'll talk about the regular clown knife. So I have actually never kept the royal clown knife. Now, as you can see, the royal clown knife is actually very beautiful. The royal clown knife has spots and stripes and a silver body. And my research tells me the royal clown knife grows a lot larger than the regular clown knife. And the royal clown knife is only available seasonally. So that's why it is so expensive in the aquarium hobby. I have seen the royal clown knife a couple of times at fish stores in my area, but they are just so big when I see them. They're about above a foot or more when I see them. And I'm a guy that likes to buy fish and grow them out. So for me, I would have to find a 4.5, 5 inch royal clown knife so I can grow them out and experience and watch them grow up. But they're pretty cool. They have cool patterns and they're a very, very nice looking clown knife. Now, the clown knife that I do have experience with is the regular clown knife. And it looks just like a clown, kind of. The regular clown knife has no stripes, only when it's juvenile. But as it matures, they have circles on their body, black circles with white outline. Very, very cool fish. Now, the clown knife does get massive. Both the royal and regular clown knife can get above 3 feet. So you would need a massive, massive aquarium to take care of a royal or a regular clown knife. But they are a cool oddball fish. The way they swim is pretty cool. The way they eat, and they're an awesome fish. However, they get massive. And unfortunately, some irresponsible pet owners have released some clown knives into South Florida local waters, and now they're thriving in South Florida waters, which isn't good. You can actually go fishing for clown knives here in Florida, and like I said, that's definitely not a good thing, but they are definitely a unique fish. I definitely love clown knives. Kelly Love says $150 for a fish. Wow. Yeah, some of the more rare exotic fish can cost a lot of money. I personally have paid upwards of $500 one time for a rare exotic fish. Some of them are really expensive, but they're definitely worth it. All right, moving along. The next oddball species fish we're going to talk about is actually a perch. It belongs to the perch family, and it comes from Asia. And the pictures I'm going to show you of this fish are of the fish that I had when I had this fish. I don't have any of this species currently, but they're definitely on my list. So right now we're going to talk about Datnoids. And this was my largest Datnoid that I had. This is a standard Indonesian tiger Datnoid. There are several types of Datnoid. You have your Indonesian Datnoid. You have your NTT Datnoid, which is North Thailand Tiger Datnoid. You've got your American Tiger Datnoid and your New Guinea Tiger Datnoid. I have only kept 3 of those species. I have kept the Indonesian Datnoids. I have kept the Northern Thailand Tiger Datnoids and the silver, aka American Tiger Datnoids. My favorite out of all those species are the Indonesian Datnoids and the Northern Thailand Tiger Datnoids. Datnoids are an incredibly cool fish. They're super hardy as long as you have quality water conditions and you keep up on your water changes. And they like to eat a lot of foods. I have found that Datnoids are more omnivorous. They love meaty foods. Excuse me, not omnivorous. They're more carnivorous. They love their meaty foods. So you'll feed them things like shrimp, tilapia, bloodworms, earthworms, things like that, and they do well. They get big though. Datnoids can easily get over 2 feet in length, some species. They grow a little bit slow, so you have that to your advantage, but they're a cool oddball fish species. This was my favorite Datnoid that I had. He had a cool bar to him, and he died in a winter storm I had in Massachusetts. But thank God I don't have to deal with winter no more. No more winter for me because I'm in South Florida now. And this is a picture of my Datnoid eating. I think that's a ghost shrimp that I put in that tank that day. It's been a long time, but really cool fish. Now, Datnoids do cost a pretty penny because sometimes they can be kind of rare, but to me, they are definitely worth it. I plan on getting some Datnoids for my 120. Talking about oddballs. So far, we have talked about the iridescent shark. We've talked about lungfish, black ghost knives, clown knives, and Datnoids. Right now, we're going to take a quick intermission and hear a word from our supporters. We're going to hear a word from Little Egypt Aquarium Club, which has quality aquarium supplies and quality fish food like rapashi. Remember, you can save 10% on your order by using coupon code ALEX. Go to littleegyptaquariumclub.com and see what they offer. They have great aquarium supplies. And we're also going to hear from our new supporter, Fish Keeping for Kids, a very cool book that was written by a 14-year-old fish keeper. I wish I had this book when I was entering the aquarium hobby. We'll be back to talk about more oddballs right after this, so don't go anywhere, folks.
Are you a tropical fish keeper living in South Florida? You need to check out Aquatic and Exotic in Stuart, Florida. Aquatic and Exotic is home to quality freshwater and saltwater tropical fish. You will find African cichlids, South and Central American cichlids, goldfish and koi, and exotic fish. We also supply aquarium supplies like filters and heaters, aquariums, and lights. We also have quality fish food brands. Aquatic and Exotic is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Questions? Give us a call at 772-781-4046. Stop on by and check us out. 1525 A.C.E. Lockhart Street, Stuart, Florida 34994.
Hey everyone, Aqua Alex Cardinelli here. As you guys know, I entered the aquarium hobby at a young age. I was born into the aquarium hobby as my dad had been keeping aquariums before me. And at the age of 12, I got my very first aquarium. I am a firm believer that kids and today's youth should be in the aquarium hobby. That is why when I found out about this book, Fish Keeping for Kids, I knew I had to promote it here on my channel because I'm all about the youth in the aquarium hobby. This book here was written by a 14-year-old boy who entered the aquarium hobby, and this book is filled with some great information. It's got information on all different types of fish, freshwater and saltwater. It's got information on aquarium equipment. It's got information on cycling and setting up an aquarium. All information that will be beneficial and great for kids entering the aquarium hobby. I wish I had this book when I was younger and growing up in the aquarium hobby. So, this book is great for anyone that is going to be entering the aquarium hobby that is younger. It was written by 14-year-old Brian Conway, who enjoys fish keeping, soccer, homeschooling, and fishing. And one of his favorite places to be is the local aquarium store and Oklahoma Aquarium. Fish Keeping for Kids started as a homeschool assignment, and Brian decided he would publish it to help solve this problem for others. Fish Keeping for Kids is Brian's first book, but he enjoyed writing the first so much he is already working on his next. You can find out more information and follow Brian at fishkeepingforkids.com. Take a look at this wonderful book with all the different fish species and information in there. It's a great, great book. I'm happy to have a copy, and I'm happy to support this cause as well. Fishkeepingforkids.com. Learn all about it on his website and get yourself a copy. I love seeing the youth in the aquarium hobby, and I, Aqua Alex, am glad to partner with Brian. Now back to the fish chat. Hey fish keepers, Aqua Alex Cardinelli here. Proud to announce that I am partnering with Little Egypt Aquarium Club, founded by tropical fish keeper Jeremy Stellhorn from Red Bud, Illinois. Little Egypt Aquarium Club supplies aquarium hobbyists all across the United States with quality aquarium supplies. At Little Egypt Aquarium Club, you will find rapashi, a really good fish food. You'll also find freeze-dried foods, medicated foods, pellets and wafers for your fish, breeding supplies, driftwood, filters, and so much more. Little Egypt Aquarium Club is operated by fish keepers such as Aqua Alex and Jeremy Stellhorn for fish keepers like yourself. You'll get free shipping on orders over $200. And don't forget, you can save money with Aqua Alex. You'll get 10% off your order by using coupon code ALEX. That's right, fish keepers. Bruno, my tiger Oscar behind me, and Aqua Alex want to save you 10%. Use coupon code ALEX to get 10% off your order. Go to littleegyptaquariumclub.com after the show. Happy fish keeping, and go check out Little Egypt Aquarium Club after the show. Welcome back to a special episode of Aquatic Wetline here on my YouTube channel, American Alex Cardinelli. Tonight we are talking about my top 10 favorite oddball fish. Now let's get to our final 5 oddball fish. The next oddball that I'm going to talk about is a really cool prehistoric dinosaur-like fish. As a matter of fact, some species of this fish are called dinosaur eels because they're very eel-like as well. Of course, I'm talking about the group known as Polypterus. Some people call them bikers or bashirs, but I like the name bikers better. So some of my favorite biker species include the one that's on the screen, which is known as a saddled biker or Enlacheri. I also like the Oronite biker, the Dalhousie biker, and the regular Senegal biker. The albino Senegal biker is very nice as well. And there's a couple of new biker species that I've researched that I really want to keep. Now, bikers, there's many different species of them. Some grow up to 18 inches, while others can get up to 2 feet and more. The ones that I recommend for the aquarium hobby would be the Senegal biker, the Oronate biker, the Dalhousie biker, and ones that stay under 18 inches. The Oronate can get to 18 inches, but generally in the aquarium hobby, the Oronate will max out at around 13 to 15 inches. However, my favorite biker, which is the Enlacheri biker, can get up to 3 feet in length, but they're a bottom dwelling fish. So they'll do good in a 180, a 220, etc. Bikers have a really cool personality. It's very fun to watch them eat, and they have like a cool, adorable face. Like I've always said that the Enlacheri looks like a grumpy fish, but they're really, really cool. Some bikers cost more than others. Like for example, a Senegal biker is generally about 15 to 20 bucks, sometimes more for a larger sized one. Then the cherry can be $20 to $30 for a juvenile, but goes up into the couple $100 range for a large one. But these guys are really cool predators from Africa. They're prehistoric fish that come from Africa. Really, really cool fish. You can't go wrong with having a Polypterus in your aquarium. All right, so the next oddball fish species we're going to talk about is one of my all-time favorite spiny eel. It comes from Asia, and it really is a hot fish because it is known as the fire eel. Now, all spiny eels are not true eels. They don't belong to eels. They belong to the barb family, I believe. But they're still a pretty cool fish. And look how beautiful the fire eel is right above my head. Fire eels are amazing. They have such great personality. They are one of the largest of the spiny eel family. They can reach up to 36 inches, I think, sometimes even larger. So they do require a good sized aquarium, upwards of 6 feet and more, but they're really, really cool. Once they get to know their owners, you can begin to hand feed them. I've had several fire eels that accepted earthworms out of my hand. They also would accept tilapia and market shrimp, but it took a while for them to get off of just earthworms. I found for some reason that fire eels are a little bit harder to get onto dead foods, unlike the tire track eel and the peacock eel. But the fire eel is a beautiful, beautiful fish. Just make sure you have a severe cover on your lid. Make sure your aquarium is secure because they will easily climb out of your aquarium. They're good escape artists. So that's why I don't have a fire eel yet. I have to get a really good lid for this aquarium. Otherwise, there would be one in there. Over the years, their price has increased. I have noticed that the fire eels in my local fish stores, their price has drastically went up. I'm not sure if that's because of COVID or if they've become harder to get. For example, I used to be able to get 4 or 5-inch juvenile fire eels for about $30. Now you're paying about $55 for a juvenile fire eel. Don't even get me started on a good sized fire eel, a foot or more. You're going to probably pay $100 or more. That's probably because of COVID, but it could be because of supply issues. However, fire eels are an interesting eel, very, very cool. If you're looking for an eel with a lot of color in the freshwater hobby, the fire eel is the way to go. Really, really cool fish. And when I get one again, I'll definitely do a care guide episode on the fire eel because they're very, very cool. Now, the next oddball fish we're going to talk about is native to the United States of America. You'll find these guys living in our waterways if you live in the United States and you're watching this video. They are massive fish. One such species is named after an alligator. Of course, I'm talking about gars, the toothy predator from the United States of America. And you know, I have a lot of love and respect for gars. Gars are a really cool fish. I like the Florida gar, I like the long-nosed gar, the short-nosed gar, and the alligator gar. But these guys can get 5 feet and larger in length. The smallest gar can grow about 2 feet. So they're still a large predatory fish. So they need a massive aquarium or pond. And they can be quite hard to get off of live food as well. Some are more easier than others. I've had no problem converting alligator gars and long-nosed gars onto market shrimp and tilapia, but for some reason, Florida gars are extremely difficult to get onto dead food at first. It took me a month, but then it started eating dead food. But these guys are massive fish, pretty cool though that they come from America. But you really do need a pond or a really huge aquarium for these guys because they get big. Now, when I go to that outdoor store, sporting store, I forgot the name of it. I can't pronounce it now. It starts with a C, I think it is. But they have a big aquarium, a big, massive aquarium that has gars and sturgeon and all types of American fish in there. Bass Pro Shops, there it is. Bass Pro Shops, they have those fish, gars among other monsters, and they're pretty cool. So gars are an interesting oddball fish, but I don't really think they're well suited for the aquarium hobby just because of how big they get. All right. Well, the next fish we're going to talk about is probably the smallest fish on this list that I'm mentioning. I had one of these fish many moons ago, and it was a fish that I got originally in a trade. I originally did not want this fish because I thought, well, it's kind of a boring fish, but the guy was persistent on rehoming it, so I figured, you know what, I'll just take it and throw it in my 55-gallon. But I ended up growing to becoming to love that fish, and I've never found one ever again. It is a fish that comes from Asia. It is called the needle-nose gar or the freshwater needle-nose fish. Very, very unique predator, very unique oddball. And if I ever come across them again, I will definitely buy them. You can bet your bottom dollar that I will definitely buy another needle-nose gar. This thing was a really cool fish. The needle-nose gar can get about 8 to 9 inches in length, and they will devour small fish. So definitely do not put needle-nose gar with neon tetras, guppies, live bearers, anything like that, because that big, long, pointed mouth will open and devour those small fish. I've also seen them eat pellets. I had one that took pellets after a while, and the way they chew is pretty cool. They use their teeth to clamp onto their food and chew it. Really, really interesting fish. I wonder when they're available, though, because I've never seen them in any of my fish stores, and I'm definitely going to ask if they can get them because they are awesome, and I definitely want them. I think one would do great in my 125-gallon aquarium or my 75-gallon grow out tank. Really, really cool. Yet I have to say the needle-nose gar is one of those fish that I've been looking for ever since that day. And it's been about 12 years since I had that needle-nose gar. All right. And the last fish we're going to talk about is one of my all-time favorite monster fish, and it just so happens to fall in the oddball category. And that is the silver arowana. A lot of people love arowanas, but one of my all-time favorites is the silver arowana. Now, the silver arowana, where it says oddball fish on that banner, that is one of the arowanas that I raised up until about a foot and a half, and then I gave them to my friend. I have kept plenty of silver arowanas over the years. They are very cool fish. But the downside to silver arowanas is they like to jump out of their aquarium. So make sure you have a secure lid. Make sure your aquarium is closed at all times. Silver arowanas grow to be about 3 feet, so they're a really large fish. However, if you get to know my fish keeping style, you would know that I love large growing fish because they have a lot of personality. It is very interesting to watch the silver arowana eat. I love the way they use their mouth. They are known as the bony tongue fish, and they really do have a hard jaw and a bony tongue. And they use that bony tongue to eat food. I would hate to be bitten by a silver arowana because, boy, it would hurt. They will eat smaller fish as well, but what they really love is crickets and insects. So you can obviously feed your silver arowana crickets and other small insects like earthworms. Now, this is very controversial. Some people have mixed feelings about this, but larger silver arowanas can eat mice and small birds because in the wild, these will eat baby monkeys and any small mammals that fall into the water. And these arowanas come from South America. The silver arowana and the black arowana are the only 2 arowanas in which you'll find in South America. Now here is a baby silver arowana that I raised from 2 inches with an egg sac until about, I think it was 11 or 12 inches when it died in that horrific winter storm we had many years ago in Massachusetts. And this is a silver arowana I got from my friend Tommy, who is the owner of Imperial Aquatics in Springfield, Massachusetts. And he frequently brings in arowanas of all types. You'll find silvers, blacks, and jardinis at his store in Springfield, Massachusetts. So silver arowana, definitely a favorite oddball fish of mine. And definitely in the near future, I'll either have a silver or black arowana in my 125-gallon aquarium. All right, that's pretty much everything I have for you on tonight's episode of Aquatic Wetline. I hope you guys and gals and all the amazing fish keepers out there enjoyed this episode of Aquatic Wetline. I sincerely want to thank you for watching today's video. A big thank you to all the Facebook groups that allow me to promote Aquatic Wetline, and thank you for coming from one of those Facebook groups if you saw this post and you came from the Facebook group. I really, really appreciate it. And I appreciate every view that I get. So fish keepers, thank you very much. So I'm probably going to do another oddball episode with 10 more species a little bit later on this month or next month. And maybe I'll do top 10 cichlids and top 10 catfish from other countries as well. So fish keepers, have a great rest of your night or day. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, check out Fish Keeping for Kids and check out Little Egypt Aquarium Club. Feed your fish high-quality fish food and do your water change. Happy fish keeping, everyone, and good